Yes, no one is you, and that is your superpower. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this edition of Jesus for the Streets. I am Abayomi Daniels from this side of the world. I am pleased, I am excited to welcome you once again, because Jesus for the Streets is all about positive energy. It is your soul we are trying to address. We are always happy that your ego is out of the way. That's why when some of our listeners tell me that sometimes they just doze off, I'm like, yes, when you doze, when you are even asleep, I prefer it that way, because that way we are addressing your soul directly. So subconsciously, don't be surprised when you are naturally able to achieve some things, like in form of law of attraction. So that is exactly what Jesus for the Street is all about. It's all about enlightenment. It's all about positive energy. It's all about prosperity. It's all about joy. It's all about pain and pleasure. It's all about understanding. It's all about love and light. And it is with Jesus' joy that I welcome you. Yeah, we mentioned Jesus here because we practice Christian Science. So it's the scientific part of Christianity, which is living, spirituality, which is exactly what Jesus for the Street is all about. Here on Jesus for the Street, we give tithe and offering in different forms. You can give the way you've always been giving before in your churches. You can decide to use it to bless yourself, bless the name of your Lord, your God, your source, for helping you, for blessing you to achieve something. You can decide to send it specially to your parents in the name of God. Once you have done it for them, you have done it for God. You can decide to, also bless your relative. You can decide to also bless us with it. You can think of your communities. Think of different ways, ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to achieve. No one is you, and that is your superpower. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to say to yourself, I believe, especially my American friends, my American listeners, which are actually the highest listeners of our podcast anyway. We appreciate you. We say big thanks to you. And I know that the next 4 years might look bleak, it might look unclear, but I want you to know that, Jesus is with you. And I want you to believe in yourself. So this mantra is about you. I believe in myself. So you breathe in, hold your breath for about 4 seconds and say to yourself, I believe. And exhale for about 4 seconds and say to yourself, in myself. As we go forward, you can watch me in order for you to look at how we've done it, and you now continue to repeat the exercise on your own. So the seconds doesn't have to follow the actual seconds, and you can continue to draw. The most important thing is when you hold your breath, you are in alignment with the subconscious. And when you exhale your breath, you are in alignment with consciousness. So we prefer to address the subconscious because that is the house of power. That is where you get things done. That is how you can ask and receive within, where time and space doesn't exist. It's a long thing. Let me not so you can continue that breath exercise as long as possible, and take it as many times as possible. I beg your pardon. And then please, when you're driving, don't. When your attention is needed, like maybe a banker on the counter, don't. When you are someone who is selling, don't. Just join us in your mind, because whether you like it or not, you are actually very, so, but the idea is to pay attention on your breath, so which kind of gets things sunken, So the previous episode, we talked about seekers and other humans taking refuge in righteousness, being real with yourself. finding yourself in a place of epiphany, the kind of epiphany that spurs actions. So he who has taken refuge in truth, even in the habitation of a wise understanding and a loving and steadfast heart, is the same whether in pleasure or pain, whether in wealth or poverty, success or life, you are the same. So just get straight to being righteous with yourself. This is the agenda for the desired state for all men, a state where all humans are self-aware, spiritual, and are highly intuitive. You need to be intuitive. Your intuition is a way of universe communicating to you. That is your own oracle. Ara mi sọ wípé nǹkan tá rẹ̀ sọ yẹn ó possible jẹ́ pé ọ̀dọ́ ló possible jẹ́ pé, but pay attention to it. Use that information to analyze the next information. Don't be surprised that something or something will. Prophecy. What is prophecy? Prophecy has to do with fortune telling. A prophet is someone who can look into the future and predict the future. So let's fast forward to types of prophecy. We can be divinatory prophets, include seers, oracles, givers, soothsayers, basis of inspiration, behavior, and office. Prophecy is based on all this. So fast forward to last prophecy, which is where we are right now. These prophecies came to me from God at about this time 4 years ago, in the first term of the reign of the current president-elect, President Donald Trump, back then in 2020. I told President Trump he will win if he surrendered power, walk the long walk, take the long walk, and come back again, never to give up, that he will win the next time, and to God's glory he did. So, and I've spoken to you about the timings, the behaviors back then. I was then a Republican. I believed in Republicans, but I also realized that was just my ego part. That was what my ego wants. But my spirit actually wanted humanity. So I had to join democracy, which has to do with the people, by the people, to the people, for the people. Humanity. So that's why I'm a Democrat today and forever. And I happen to be a mentee of President Tinubu. He's a man that has always been my mentor, like my father out there. And I'm just trying to, not necessarily impress, but someone I want my life to be like, someone I'm trying to work on his strength. And then I want to, if possible, I want to just take his strength, and then add my own, to it. And I'm still working towards it. Like I do say, it's 10 steps ahead of many people, but as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm closer than ever. I still predict some of his moves. I think I'm getting to that level now. So, but I'm really so happy to be a student, so I love him so much and I support him, so I go where God asked me to go, and that's where God asked me to be now, and that's it. I have an active relationship with God. So another part of this vision says that President Trump his name is going to make it to the New Testament. What am I saying? The next epistle to be written, the next biblical text, I'll be coming to reality, which I titled the Third Testament, TTT. The name of President Donald Trump is going to be reflected. I also prophesied that one 4 years ago. So 2020, I beg your pardon, 5 years now. I'm sorry, all those 4 years, you've heard 5 years now, in 2025. So all these things happened back then in 2020, when this vision just started falling in that. And I remember sharing it back then, that Donald Trump, your name is going to be in the book of the Third Testament, which are going to be written by myself, Reverend Senior Pastor Dr. Prefidola will be playing a big role. God even told me he's already playing his role. So, and part of that vision says that Elon Musk was going to be helpful, but I think Elon Musk has already done what he's supposed to do. To all they had to do was create X, so which means it's going to be coming from X, so pay attention to X. X is going to be assembling a kind of information through one means, but whatever that information is, it will be TTT, and that TTT, meaning the Third Testament, is going to be having the book called Third Kings. Inside that chapter, President Donald Trump is going to have a chapter, an entitled chapter or epistle, maybe 1, 2, 3 chapters, to be Donald Trump. So his name is going to reflect either in the story, the background of the story, or even at the chapter. So let's just, now that we are getting deeper into this, let's please pay attention, more attention. I told him he will win if he surrendered power, and then he did. He did. So another part of the vision, which I didn't emphasize much back then, because I never thought President Donald Trump was going to win. Believe me. Yes, I said that prophecy, but I thought I built enough momentum. I thought I built enough momentum to counter that prophecy. But unfortunately, God's will stood, and God's will is what has led us thus far. I want you to know that, because we are getting there. So the answer to how was like now. Back then, the vision was like President Donald Trump's name will reflect in the Third Testament. But how? That's how. The answer was the last part of the vision. I kept it because I felt it's a bad one and was not sure he would have made it. Like I said, I felt it was a bad one at that time because I was really supporting him. I didn't want that bad part to happen. So I'm just like, so, or maybe if he had refused to surrender power, maybe, maybe. But then my passion for him, my support for him, would not allow me to finish the prophecy while I was recording it back then in 2020. That's what I'm trying to say. So I didn't finish it. And I said it there, there's one other part. If you can lay your hand, if you need guide, I will guide you there. Trust me, one of the hardest things for a prophet is having to think back and say, what I said, how did I say it, all those things, reality will give answers for themselves. By the time you start marrying reality to prophecy, you realize that a larger percentage of what we have said, things that actually came true. Gone are the days it's God, it's me, nobody. It's God. It's God's gift from childhood. I see things before they happen. Up till now, I still see it. I don't joke with my dreams. I don't joke with my permutations, my conclusions. I don't joke with things like that. I even consider my own personal conviction more than anybody's, more than sometimes even Bible. But don't get me wrong, sometimes, like I'm telling you, that that level, that personal conviction is also equally important to me. So I kept it because I felt it's a bad one and was not sure he would have made it. I was not sure President Trump was going to win. Believe me, I was never sure. I didn't see it coming. However, here we are. Donald Trump will be in the Third Testament, yes, and his story will be a shining example of a king, of a leader. Never, ever to be like. So that's it. That's it. He's going to be there. And this other part was that it will never be, you read all this book of Kings in order to enlighten yourself to get better. There are some bad leaders. There are some good leaders. It's a shame Donald Trump is going to be categorized as a bad leader in that book, because it will be about his behaviors. Why are we saying this? Donald Trump, if you are hearing me right now, I believe you can also go to God and say, God, why? That is what information is all about. But I'm just trying to say is that most times they are never conditional. They just happen, and sometimes God changes his mind to prove to you that no, or you as a seer, you need to structure some things. You could be making mistakes in one of the steps to your conclusions. Yes, it happens like that too. There are some days I would have thought this, I will not have maybe 1, 2, 3 conclusions. And I'll be like, so which one? Or maybe 2. And you'll be surprised that the other one that you didn't go for was actually the one that was going to be the point or the main reality. It happens like that too. So, days like that, I'll just smile again and I'll be like, God, so you actually meant the opposite. So all these things are part of visions. So when people just look at it and say, I'll just smile. I don't even, the days that I'm correct, I hardly go there. Because it is written that let no man doubt. Boast. But if you must boast in God. I love to boast in God. Everything you see is God. Me, I'm a nobody. I'm just his messenger. So Donald Trump will be in the Third Testament, yes, and his story will be a shining example of a king never to be like. A leader that you don't want to repeat such a person. So maybe that is what he has come to come and lead. Maybe he can also approach his creator that he wants better story. Because his name is going to be there. His name is going to be there. I don't know, maybe now is when he's going to create the story that will make him there. So it's all up to him. My own is I've now given that information. I've decided to release that last part of that prophecy. So it will be a shining example of a leader never to be like king. If you check the book of 1 Kings 16:29, then chapter 22 verse 40, Ahab declared to be the worst person in the Hebrew Bible. 1 Kings 21:25. 1 Kings 21:25. Similarly, because he repeats the infamous crimes of King Saul, King David, and King Solomon. Trump's endless quest to be the best president to ever rule the world will lead to mistakes and consequences. Sometimes I hate saying everything. Well, you are hearing everything now. I don't know whether he has that ambition, but his quest, Trump's endless quest to be the best president to ever rule America will lead him to mistakes with huge consequences. And so, yes, it will be in TTT. but only a representation of what a leader should not be. A bad example of leadership. A scapegoat. These are beyond what I want from you. Yes, I supported Kamala Harris. This could be coming from hate. This could be coming from revenge. This could be coming from. That day I was shocked, but then everything started flooding in. At some point, one of my brother asked me online. I said I had to tell him I was processing it. That I was actually processing the result, because to me I was really, really shocked. And I was also made to see a fulfillment of another prophecy. And I remember very vividly, like it deep down in my head, that at some point I almost questioned God, that God, why did you even tell me this latest one? And 3 days before, you told me that something was going to happen, but then I must continue with whatever it is. So I was merely just being obedient to instructions, which also led to a big gap between my desire and the reality. Huge gap. He will be in TTT only as a bad example and escaping, and he needs that opportunity. He has it now. You have no idea what the energy feels like to be inking same thing, first part of the prophecy, to VP Kamala Harris 3 days after US elections in 2024. Thank you, Holy Spirit, that I noted it down. When I was inking my congratulatory message to Kamala Harris 3 days after the US election, those were part of the things I was writing. So as I was writing it, that was how, I said it became bound in my mind, like I was forced to remember. And I said, 4 years ago, this was the same thing I was writing. That's one thing I love about Facebook app, because it reminds you of some things. And I really love that algorithm, because it helps you to compare your life to past to present. There are days that I was doing exact same thing 5 years ago. It helped me to realize that it's like you're not growing. I really wish that algorithm could be inserted to X existing algorithms too. So that people have opportunity to marry an information with an Thank you, Holy Spirit. I think I'll raise it on my timeline. Maybe it will get the attention of Elon Musk. It's very good. I love that algorithm. So as a prophet, you will enjoy it. You will see when you were prophesying, you will see when those things are manifesting. But at that stage, it was when I was inking my congratulatory message my encouraging message, I beg your pardon, sorry, I used congratulatory the other time. When I was just trying to encourage Kamala Harris with my words, it was when I was writing it and I remember that God, this was the same thing that happened 4 years ago. So if the same thing happened 4 years ago, we will get there. So it was when I was writing it that it came to me that it was so surreal. It's indeed an era of transition. Sincerely, if I was Kamala Harris, I would also rest well and contest next time from primaries. It's an opportunity to properly take the long road, to work hard, to reintroduce herself. It will be about sound leadership, democracy. You need to talk about what Americans are talking about. Vice President Kamala Harris, this is for you. This segment is for you. I said, if I were you, I will rest well and contest next time. From primaries. Start from the scratch. You have no idea what it feels like. It became bam, so loud in my mind that God, this was the same thing that happened 4 years ago. And same thing is repeating itself. So what did not change? What changed? So if the same thing worked for Trump, it can work for Vice President Kamala Harris too. Rest very well. Contest next time from primaries. It's an opportunity to properly take the long road. It's an opportunity to work hard. It's an opportunity for you to reintroduce yourself. Like, it's what the Americans want is sound leadership. It's not when you are not able to talk about the border. Come on. You have to be able to talk about it. You have to be open up on it. If it's a mistake, show that you have learned. Show that you are a president who tries not to make mistakes. But even when you do, you can always adjust. Let them say it. Even though later I adjusted, I did another analysis and I realized I was talking about Democrats. Sometimes when I'm saying Kamala Harris, I am saying Democrats. Because it's like that. They are part of what we used to analyze this decision or this arrival, and then I would say that it's imperative that let's just be guided. When I'm saying Kamala Harris, I'm also saying Democrat. I'm saying APC. Especially in places where we have lost. Because these two parties, they represent technocracy, progressiveness, teachability, constant growth, and then above all, humanity. We care about humanity. So that's why we try as much as possible to do what we do for the people. So, democracy, the need to, so we are saying to you, Madam Kamala Harris, we are also saying to all Democrats that let us use this time to work. Let us use this time to show workings, to show sound leadership. Okay. The needs of the people, you need to be able to talk about border. Yes, you need to be able to talk about what Americans want. How best to achieve everything you want. You need to get everything that was like a mistake, work on them. She can learn from Trump. If she wants, you can appeal to Trump's ego. All Democrats, or appeal to his ego. Ask him how he did it. If you want, you can achieve it. Trust me. Because the prophecy is already laid down. The patterns are there. And prophecies are now becoming, the body of the prophecy is beginning to materialize. So you can learn from Trump. Appeal to his ego. Ask him how he did it. I'm sure Trump, that I know, will be glad to help. As long as it's public, there are cameras. Everybody's saying it. So appeal to, ask him, Trump, that I know, will be glad to help. And she or any candidate of Democrat will win by 51.9% of total votes in 2028. Inshallah Jesus. Inshallah Jesus. Unbelievable. Tweeted same thing to President-elect Donald Trump, and today is the president. I tweeted the same thing that I tweeted to Vice President Kamala Harris, only that this time around I didn't talk too much. I wanted to come and do all the talkings here on this. And this is the last episode. So because it's the last episode on this series, I'm happy to quickly do the needful and get out of the way. So what we are talking about right now is that I tweeted the same thing. I tweeted to Vice President Kamala Harris, to President Donald Trump then. The same thing President-elect Donald Trump, and today is the president. So if I did that 4 years ago and today Donald Trump is the president, then why not? So which means the next 4 years is going to be like that. This has always been the pattern, right from Hillary Clinton. I don't know, the energy, American energy is so strong. It's not something you can just, it's not a system you can just enter and influence, because the decisions there influence every other decision, every other global decision, most global decisions. So it's so strong. When I was with Democrats, it was Trump that won. And then I switched, I saw the qualities of Trump and I was glad about it. I went back to Trump. And I mean, I supported Trump, but Biden won. And when Biden won, I went back to Biden. This time around, I am staying with Democrats because I have seen the pattern that most of my vision, most of my prophecy for America, they happen the next 4 years. They take next 4 years to materialize because of how strong the system is. So I consider myself like someone who can influence the future, or someone who, one way or the other, can see the future, therefore talk about future confidently. So that's why I'm like, this is an opportunity for Donald Trump to create content for why he should be in the book of the Third Testament. And this is also another, prophecy to buttress the point that it is every next 4 years that my vision for America, at least I've seen third. What happened in 2024 makes it third. All these things is not me, it's God. And when God says this, because God has said it, it will happen. How it will happen is not left, that's not my job. From childhood, I see things and I'm happy to use part of my gift for the entire world. I want to believe that this series has helped you to, so but I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to be strong. I want you to continue to believe in yourself. I want you to continue to believe that everything is going to be okay. Because everything is going to be okay. So you are going to be well. If you are under the influence of my voice, nothing is going to happen to you. But then you need to start getting more aware about yourself. You need to start getting, falling in love with growth. You need to start appreciating yourself for who you are. You need to start opening yourself. When you do this, it will, or better still, just follow us. Please, I would like you to share this podcast with Americans and those who have business in America. The next 4 years, Trump, he has already begun. All these things, I have written this script right from US election. I'm just recording it now. He has already begun trying to, be the best president in the world. Now he's trying to, make Canada a state. He's trying to make Greenland a state. These are bold moves. I hope it is from the humanitarian part of him, the empathetic part of him, not the ego of wanting to be the best president America ever had. If that is the mission, what this prophecy is talking about is that he's going to make colossal mistakes that will make him the worst president ever, never to be like. So I wish you well. If not, I should be hiding this like this so it will happen, so I can say, but then God now punishes me. So I've said it, I am a Democrat, and I'm also using this platform to say I am a Democrat. I am sticking with democracy because for now it's still the government of the people. Till source has a message for us again. I want you to know that I am happy to let you know that this is where we are going to be drawing the curtain on this series. Thank you so much. Thank you for always being there. I leave you with prosperity. I leave you with positive vibes. I leave you with love and light.